Hey, how's it going? Welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how a local service business was able to acquire clients for only $100 with no sales call. This is a super unique service, unique funnel strategy, unique sales process. Literally everything about our experience with this client was unique, and the results were just amazing. And after kind of reflecting back on working with this client, it really kind of solidified a key principle that I look to implement in everyone I work with in their marketing to make sure that we're able to keep costs low, lead costs, sales call costs, cost to acquire a client, and really make sure that our campaigns are more profitable, again, using this one key principle. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So the service here was actually pretty interesting. I'm from the Midwest. I've never heard of this before, but what this company did, and they were located in the South, but what they did is they had this huge truck and they would go to people's houses, pick up their trash cans and like hit them with 200-degree water, a bunch of soap, like all this other stuff to clean off the trash cans. And then they would set the trash can back down and then they would drive to the next house that, was one of their clients. So I had never heard of it. I guess it's big in Europe or something like that. But regardless, I knew that this was a pretty like unique, kind of novel service that most likely a lot of people have not heard about before. I even asked about their competitors, like, hey, do you have competitors in your market? And he said there was maybe one or two, but no solid competition. And again, that kind of led me to think, okay, if there is demand for this, then ultimately we just need to get in front of people and they'll know right away whether it's for them or not. One thing I do want to mention here, and this is kind of like a side note, but typically you do want to see some competition if you're a service or, well, actually, let me take a step back. This company was brand new. Like they had no clients when they came to us. They didn't have any cash flow, no revenue, nothing. Like they were starting from zero. But he'd already invested all of this money into getting the equipment, getting the truck, all of that. And now they just needed to get clients. So what I would say is typically when you're starting something like that, it is better to see some sort of competition to really know for sure that there's demand. But that's kind of a side point. Regardless, he was already invested. He came to us. He was a referral from one of our other clients that we really liked working with and pretty much just said, hey, you got to help me. So we did. So we went ahead and took them on. But then there were some other challenges that the client kind of presented us with. So, like I said, when we first started working with them, they asked if we could help set up the funnel, run some Facebook ads to it, and convert everyone. And I, of course, gave the typical strategy that works very well for service businesses, which is, hey, we're going to run the ad or take an ad, run it through some specific marketing strategies like a VSL, some nurturing indoctrination sequences, a bunch of other stuff like that, and ultimately get them on a sales call and close them. Also, eventually we'll want to put in appointment setters. We'll want to be calling those leads, really building out a solid funnel that's going to maximize the amount of people that came through. Because another thing I want to mention is their service was very low priced, but it was recurring. So we needed to acquire people for as cheap as humanly possible to break even in that first month. And then all of the recurring revenue after that was going to be profit. So I proposed the strategy to him. We were actually going to use, in this case, a lead form on Facebook. But then the client started to tell me that, he did not want to talk to any leads. He didn't want to take any sales calls or anything. He just wanted to have people pay. And that was it. He wanted to turn on the Facebook ads, have clients become, or have people sign up and become clients, and then he would go service them. And that was it. He didn't want to do any sales. So that's kind of started the first step of the difficulties or the challenges or what made this whole situation unique. Then when we started digging into it further, I said, okay, well, if we want to do that, then we're going to have to create a really strong VSL, need to get that recorded and put that on the page, because when you send people direct to purchase, they're typically going to have questions, they're going to have objections, roadblocks, and we need to handle that on the page through a VSL or FAQ or things of that sort. Now, when I explained that to him, he then said, no, I'm not going to be able to record a video either. It's going to take about 6 months to do. We need to get these ads launched today. I need to start acquiring clients. So now we didn't have the typical sales funnel or the sales process, and there was no way to create a video. So we had to go entirely off of just a straight sales page that would answer questions, give them the or handle objections, all that kind of stuff, and ultimately turn them into clients. So it was a very, very hard thing to do. And I figured it was going to take a lot of optimization. But, oh, and actually a couple more things. It was a brand new company, so they didn't have a bunch of testimonials or really anything. It was like odds were not stacked in our favor. Let's just say that. So I told him that. I said, hey, a lot of the stuff that's kind of best practices we're not doing. I don't think this is going to convert really well. We're going to set up the funnel. I'll try to put my best effort into it, but I'm just telling you right now, the chances of this being profitable are pretty low. And he said, no, that's fine. I trust you. Like, just give it a shot. If it doesn't work, it's not a big deal. Let's do it anyway. And I said, okay, we'll give it a shot and see what happens. I mean, the only thing that we had was this 10% discount. Like, that was pretty much the only thing that was giving us any type of advantage. We did have some product images. We did have a couple payment options, but then we built out that funnel and launched it, and the results were unbelievable. People started buying right away, and I could not believe it. Like I said, we literally, like, we did the bare minimum, not because we didn't want to put in the work, but because the client just didn't want to do the videos or anything like that. And, I told them this is probably not going to work. And then it did. And I thought maybe at first, like, our tracking was wrong. Maybe this was coming in from like organic or some word of mouth or something that they had gotten in place, but it was all coming from the ads. And they were acquiring clients for $100, breaking even in that first month, and then able to retain those people and keep working with them month after month after month. So we kept spending and it just kept working. And I was totally blown away. I did not expect that at all. But what I realized is there are a few key things that happened here. First is they had a unique service. Because the service was so unique, more attention came to it, people clicked through on it more, people were intrigued by it more, and that made them want to buy. Put that in combination with the fact that they had a fair price, people were willing to buy. It was low enough to where they could almost experiment or just try it out, and it wasn't going to be a super painful thing if it like wasn't what they liked, or like, oh, that was cool but I don't need it again. They were willing to invest the amount of money to just try it out. Also, the conversions were really easy. Like I said, they were converting at an unreal rate. And the risk, people were willing to give it a shot. There wasn't a ton of risk. There was the 10% discount. It was unique and cool enough to want to give it a shot, like even to just see it happen, because the trucks were amazing. The service was really cool. But I was honestly really surprised that it worked. And the key thing here is the unique service. Because it was unique, because they positioned themselves in a way that other people hadn't seen, they solved a specific problem that maybe a lot of people didn't realize was a problem until they saw this. And now they're like, oh, wow, that's a pretty unique solution to a problem that I do kind of have. And then the price was fair enough and low risk enough for people to give it a shot. Those three key elements, if you combine those three, you're going to get clients. And that's something I've tried to work with on every single client that I now have any type of project with is, hey, how can we make it more unique? How can we make sure that the ROI is there? And how can we like kind of take away some of the risk for the potential client? If you do those three things, you're going to get great costs and great conversions. And that's the power of true differentiation. If you can create the differentiation, showcase your uniqueness, and you have fair pricing that de-risks, you can really beat out any competition. You'll be able to acquire clients profitably. You'll be able to scale more aggressively. Just everything. If you have these three elements, everything is going to get better in your campaign. So if you're a local service business or even a B2B business owner or B2C business owner that provides some kind of service, look at your marketing, look at your ads, look at your offers and see, do I have these three criteria? If you don't, that's probably why your ads have been struggling. That's probably why you're having issues acquiring clients profitably, getting enough leads coming in, getting the right types of leads coming in. It all comes down to these three things. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, this was a pretty unique situation, but I always think it's so interesting to see how in this case study, we were able to work with a client where literally all the odds were stacked against us, but they were still able to acquire clients profitably because we were able to help them get these three elements or these three criteria into their marketing. All right. I appreciate you watching this video. And if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments.